Hi everyone in English 2327, it's Dr. E and I'm here with an instructional video that walks through all the different aspects of our course syllabus. If you haven't already, make sure that you view the instructional video that walks through D2L, just because we want to have all these strong foundations on which we're going to build this course, okay? So I want you to really start thinking about the syllabus as a tool or a resource that is there for you as a student throughout the summer session. It has everything that you might need. It has information about resources, contact information, schedules, everything, okay? So make sure that this is one of those things that you go to when you have questions about our class, all right? Let's go ahead and start. So it has, the usual information. I have a reminder here, please use D2L in terms of emailing and getting in touch with me. It's just the fastest, simplest way. I want you to note that I'll have office hours Monday through Thursday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. and that's going to be in the instant messages area of D2L. So if we're in our course, if you go to that envelope icon where we can access our email, the other option is instant messages. So if you click on that, it will open a pop-up window, and then you can just go to class list and search, and yours should be, this is where you can find all of your folks or people from other classes. So you can just click next to my name and start messaging me. I do want you to note that in the past, I've offered like virtual face-to-face office hours so that any student who wants to can just stop by and meet me in a WebEx meeting area. But I found, and through discussion and through some feedback from students in course reflections, that it can be kind of intimidating to meet one-on-one. I get that, right? It's something where, especially since we're not able to necessarily do that in person right now, it feels a little awkward. But I do want you to note that I'm really happy to set up a WebEx meeting so that we can have a chat face-to-face. I really enjoy having that time with students. But there's always that instant message option because I know that a lot of students would prefer that. So that's information you can find on the syllabus, right? Here's the information about our course and our text, right? That information again is on D2L, as well as our learning outcomes. And then we get into some of those details that are included in the life help area of D2L, including, the link to the Women's Resource Center, communities and schools, and then the general syllabus policies for the Lone Star College system. So if you click on that link, it will not, my computer's just having a moment. It will open to all of the different policies associated with Lone Star College. So it has information on Title IX and FERPA and privacy and COVID-19 and the concealed carry laws. So it's just a quick kind of reference if you need those. All right. There is information as well on equal opportunities and the 6-drop statement. You should all feel comfortable in our courses, and also note that you don't want to drop more than 6 classes because it can definitely affect your progress as a student in the college system in Texas. Just a reminder, and I mentioned this in our last video about D2L, that there is that distinction between counseling and advising. Remember that advising is all of the academic areas. So if you need information on transfer, if you need information on your degree plan or the courses you need to take or any of that, that's what the advisors are there to assist you with. Whereas our communities and schools counselors are there for all of those things outside of school that have an impact on our lives, but can definitely impact our success and our ability to move through the course successfully, okay? There's also information about online tutoring. We do have some online tutors available, as well as some other kinds of resources. So again, just when you have a moment, read through this a bit more thoroughly when you have some time. Policies are pretty important, and the first one, of course, is respect. And I put that here especially because in a digital space, in an online class, it can be difficult to read one another's tones, right? We're posting in discussion areas, we're responding to one another there. We're not having that chance to see one another face to face and pick up on, our facial cues and just the things that we normally have when we're sitting together and having a conversation. So I want you to try to be as aware as possible of your tone when you're responding to one another. You may not intend to sound really gruff or really critical, but it may come off that way. So I just want you to take an extra moment before you submit any responses or you submit work online to kind of just double check. You know, if any person is reading this, would they think my tone is negative when I really don't intend it that way? Because again, we want to be as respectful as possible, and that means kind of checking our tone when we need to. Visit hours, I've kind of gone over that. And email communication, which is through D2L. I do note that there can be a 48-hour period for me to respond to your emails. Oftentimes it'll be sooner than that, but especially over the weekends, it can take me some time. So the sooner you reach out to me if you have a question or concern, the better, or post in the Q&A area of D2L. All right. So assignments and late work, the big thing to take from this is that I don't accept late work for our daily assignments. So our posts, I don't accept late work. For those more major assignments like our portfolio or reading responses where you actually upload a file to D2L, there is a 24-hour grace period. So if you need that extra 24 hours to really fine-tune your work, or if you experience a technology issue or a family issue, you do have that grace period. It does mean starting at a B grade instead of an A grade, but that's so much better than having a 0 for an assignment, especially again in a very fast-paced summer session where we have a lot of work to do. Just be aware that you want to get your work done, if not on time, then before the due date and time, so that we can avoid any of those kinds of issues that may impact your ability to progress through the class. Okay. Attendance and participation, it's just basically, you know, you gotta be in the class and submitting work. I can't stress it enough. This is a very fast-paced course. So missing a number of assignments is going to lead to a grade that is probably not what you're striving for. When it comes down to it, you know, I will drop students if they have not contributed for several assignments consecutively. So make sure that you are logging in regularly, you're touching base if something is going on in your life. You want to avoid being dropped if that's not something that you want, right? So plagiarism is a really big deal, and unfortunately I deal with it every single semester. So there's a link here you should kind of just visit to review, you know, what plagiarism means. The first time it happens in our course, you will receive a 0 grade. I will reach out to you. We need to have a conversation. You'll have the opportunity to revise and resubmit that grade for partial credit, but the second time it happens, it means a failure in the course. So you want to be absolutely sure you understand all those ways that we can inadvertently or maybe intentionally plagiarize. When I say that we need to meet, it is not for me to scold you or to be really judgmental. My goal is to just make sure that we're on the same page and that you don't have any concerns or confusion about what plagiarism can actually mean in an academic environment, because I don't want you finishing the course and moving on to other classes without a really firm grasp of that. So if you have questions, reach out to me. Okay, remember that plagiarism can be, unfortunately, pretty easy in an online environment because we're moving too quickly. We may be copying and pasting. Just remember that we should always be giving credit for other people's words or ideas. Okay, there is information about academic integrity as well. But I want to jump down to the assessment chart. So you'll see how the percentage and points are broken down. So the points, that's just how I'll grade things. You'll see points, grades, instead of percentage grades in the gradebook area of D2L. Oops, your paper portfolio is 350 points. So the bulk of our grade is actually going to come from, you know, our weekly discussion posts, those quizzes, your general participation, and then we'll get into our paper portfolio assignment, which is broken down in this way, as well as our multimedia project assignment, which is broken down in this way, and then lastly our course reflection. So if you scroll down, there's more information about each of these kinds of assignments, but I want you to note that for each of those, for the discussions, for the portfolio, for the multimedia project, you will have a video and a rubric that walk you through all the expectations and guidelines. So you'll get those, you know, after this video for sure. I won't offer the videos for the portfolio or the multimedia projects until we're kind of into the semester, because that can just be way overwhelming. But you can take a look at the syllabus and see just the basic breakdown of those assignments and let me know if you have any questions. I do want to show you the way that the schedule is set up on my syllabus because you may be dealing with other syllabi and everybody's a bit different. So you'll see that this is our schedule for week 1. This is what I'll copy and paste in D2L in all of those weekly modules, right, that I discussed with you in the D2L instructional video. So if you're in the content area and you view week 1, you will see this chart that just has kind of a reminder. And it shows that when we're thinking about how our weeks are structured, we're shooting for Thursday and Sunday due dates and times. On Monday, everything will be posted, all the videos, all the instructional information in the content area. Sometimes it'll happen sooner, but by Monday, you'll see all of that information. And then generally on Thursdays, you'll have a discussion post that's due. And then Sundays, you'll have a quiz, you'll have responses to one another in that discussion area from Thursday, and a reading response, okay? And that's something that you'll upload and submit to the assignments area of D2L. So we're working kind of half and half in the week. We're working half in the discussion area with thinking about our readings, and then we're working also uploading documents to the assignment area of D2L so that I can look at your work and assignment or your ideas. So, Sunday has all the reminders of all those things in the points breakdown, and then it gives you an idea of what to expect for next week. So for those of you who want to get ahead a little bit, you have that opportunity. And then Monday starts it over again, right? So it has everything available on Monday, and then it will go through everything. And then for next week, you have this information, okay? I do want to note that your book is broken apart into 2 separate texts. This is going to look backwards, right? But this is the first volume. It's kind of the green. It's a little bit thinner. And then the second volume is the bigger one, right? It's blue, a little bit thicker. We'll be spending more weeks in that thicker section. Again, this is a fast-paced class, so the reading can feel pretty intensive. So I want you to make sure that you are doing what you need to do to kind of keep your attention focused, right? So some of the text can be a little bit dry. We're talking about really old writing in the United States, right? And we're talking before everything is settled in the United States. So you want to make sure that you're taking breaks, that you're thinking about your reading strategies. I do not suggest that you sit and try to read everything all at once. You will start to lose focus within about 5 minutes. So maybe set a timer for half an hour at a time at most. Take a break, come back with fresh eyes, because some of the reading, like I said, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. We're dealing with language that's a bit older and it's a bit more stilted and formal. So it takes a different kind of attention. So find a place in your house or apartment or wherever you're staying that's quiet if you need quiet. If you need a little bit of background noise, make sure you have your headphones on. Or if you need to go to, some outdoor park, because that's where you're going to, be the most productive. Find a way in a space that's going to be the best for you so that your attention is really focused and you can complete the work in this course. All right, so that's just the basics of our course syllabus. It is posted on D2L, so double check it. The schedule is there, and I will refer to it pretty regularly. And if you have questions about the class, check the syllabus first, right? But then you can always reach out to me via email or in that Q&A area of the discussion board. Remember, if you have a question, it's pretty likely that other students will have that question as well, so that Q&A discussion area can be really helpful. All right, on to the next bit of information and video.